Just another.
Miami-Dade Police Lieutenant under arrest tonight. The allegations very disturbing. He is the fourth Miami-Dade officer arrested in the past month. CBS 4's Hank Tester has details for us.
A quick entrance into jail. A Miami-Dade SWAT team lieutenant in deep trouble. This is Lieutenant Barilio Gonzalez, charged with 4 counts lewd and lascivious on a child under the age of 12 years, 1 count of armed kidnapping. Lieutenant Gonzalez, according to documents, abused the female over a period of 2 years. At one time held a gun to her head, fondled her breast and buttocks and private parts. There was a swift reaction from the director of Miami-Dade Police. Today, as a result of an ongoing investigation, detectives from our Special Victims Bureau arrested a member of our agency. To say that I am shocked and disturbed at these serious allegations is an understatement. As I have said before, no one is above the law, and I offer the victim, in this case, my assurance of our commitment to go through a thorough investigation.
Rose admitting today to raping children for decades, some of them taking the stand and delivering victim impact statements that were disturbing. And now Rose will spend at least the next 10 years behind bars.
Victim number 4 was between 8 and 10 years old when the defendant repeatedly sexually assaulted the child.
Prosecutors outlining the horrific details of what Patrick Rose did to 6 victims over the course of 30 years. The former Boston police officer and president of the Patrolmen's Association raped children as young as 6 years old repeatedly until 2020 when he was arrested.
Some of these victims described being sexually assaulted upwards of 200 times.
Rose accepted a plea deal today. He'll serve between 10 and 13 years in prison with 10 years probation. The prosecutor reading a statement on behalf of one of the victims.
This sentence is not what I wanted. I wanted you behind bars until the day you die.
And we start with breaking news since 5 o'clock. Within the last hour, we've confirmed a cop who recently worked as the school resource officer in Newport is now in jail, charged with sexually abusing a child.
The allegations aren't at the school or in his job as a police officer. Prosecutors say the assault happened in Idaho, where the officer lives. This is Raul Lopez, seen in his staff picture for the Newport School District. Newport police say they were notified last week of the allegations, and Lopez was immediately put on leave. He resigned last Friday and Sunday, turned himself in, and was booked into the Bonner County Jail. He's charged with 2 counts of lewd conduct with a minor and 2 counts of sexual abuse of a child. In a statement sent to 4 News Now, Police Chief Mark Duxbury said the thoughts and prayers of the Newport Police Department staff are with the victim and the victim's family. We're sickened, shocked, and angered by the alleged conduct of Mr. Lopez.
I've worked with them for 7 years. They're such a great guy. I know them well. You don't know them.
Case in point, Pinellas County tonight, where a man once employed to keep children safe now finds himself charged with child abuse. Good evening, I'm Stacy Schaub.
And I'm Josh Benson. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Well, Deputy Timothy Crane no longer the school resource officer at Palm Harbor Middle School, but he is facing 2 felony counts.
And some say it didn't happen fast enough given that Crane worked with kids and the charges involve a child.
Well, this case got a lot of attention, and part of that attention, prosecutors say, is what attracted more people to come forward and tell them their stories, that they too had information about James Carey. Also, prosecutors told a judge today in arguing that his bail should be increased, that they believed he lied on employment forms, neglecting to tell an employer, a school district where he was driving a bus, that he had been a police officer in the first place.
It was insult to injury when they discovered the defendant was out in the community hours after being arrested.
First Assistant District Attorney Jennifer Shorn says it was right after his arrest on April 7th that her office got to work trying to get James Carey back in jail. They say the former cop not only used his badge to gain the trust of children and parents, but used it to hide his alleged crimes. And despite red flags and warnings, they say he remained on the job with Warminster Township until he retired in 2009. A one-time DARE officer, the DA says Carey targeted boys who are facing challenges, used his power and trust, not just with kids, but with their parents. And once he had it, he fondled, molested, and had children engage in sex acts with him. According to more than 80 pages of documents filed in court, many in the community knew of Carey's closeness, especially with young boys.
Michael Lindsay is accused of sex crimes involving 3 children. Investigators say he was a police officer in Oklahoma. They believe he lived in Madison and St. Clair counties and was an EMT in the Metro East before moving to Oklahoma in 2010. Police say he lived on Buncombe Road within walking distance of Illini Elementary School.
It's definitely alarming.
Reginald Beard does not remember seeing Lindsay in the neighborhood, but says it's cases like this that make him vigilant about his family's safety.
I have 3 children myself, so we definitely, it makes us at least more aware of what's going on, but we're always thinking about that sort of thing. So we watch our kids when they catch buses and we take them back and forth to school, so we're aware of the reality of the situations.
Lindsay was hired as a reserve police officer in Oklahoma in 2017 and was only recently promoted to full-time. The chief of police, where Lindsay worked in Oklahoma, says there were no red flags.
We haven't had any complaints on him, and as far as we knew, he was doing a good job, and there was nothing in his background that ever indicated that there would ever be an issue.
In Illinois, Lindsay faces the charges of predatory criminal sexual assault and aggravated criminal sexual abuse. Court papers indicate the charges relate to a boy who was approximately 11 years old.
There are now more police officers in Florida schools, but what does that mean for school safety? I-Team investigator Kylie McGivern found hundreds of elementary school children arrested over a 2-year time period across the state. In tonight's Full Circle special report, we ask, at what age should a child be treated like a criminal?
So you know where you're going?
Okay.